Hello and welcome back to the Purple Panthers Sport Network, your home for University of Brighton sport.
It's the second week of BUCS League fixtures and we've got plenty more of the best bits from all the Panthers teams.
Today we're joined by our correspondent Freddie Potter, who will be taking you through all the action from the tennis, volleyball and more.
We begin with the basketball, where our men's and women's teams returned to Mead Sports Hall after an electronics failure last week. Freddie has more details.
The men's basketball team managed to get their first victory of the season against Royal Holloway Wands. The Panthers did well to secure the win given the unusual circumstances where they were forced to play on half a court. It was a tight contest in the first and second quarters, but the Panthers managed to get a foothold in the third quarter before putting the game to bed in the fourth. The final score was 92-83. Our correspondent Hugo Wong was at the game.
The Panthers got their first win of the season against Royal Holloway, 92-83, after losing their first home game here against Sussex University the week before, thanks to a 31-point second quarter. Royal Holloway made the ending a little bit interesting, scoring 4 3-pointers at the end of the quarter. The Panthers will play King's College the week after at home here in Brighton.
Hugo also caught up with Coach of the Year Dan Riley after the game.
The ambition was there today. We were a little bit reckless, a lot of turnovers. Then we tightened it up. There was a lot of fouls given, so the referees, you can never complain about the referees, which I always tell my players, but they stopped the flow of the game a little bit. But we played well, we played through it, and we finished strong in the end. I had faith in my players to see out the game. I think Jamie is a great player. He can be one of our best on the team, but I have faith in all of my players. I'm always going to put them in. I trust them all to play in crunch time, so I'm always going to try and give out minutes and play the quarter the best that I can.
The women's game was postponed last week, so their season officially started yesterday against Portsmouth Wands. Unfortunately, they were beaten 65-37.
The rugby union season got underway this week as the Twos took on Chichester's Ones. They threatened a late comeback thanks to this late try, but came up agonisingly short and in the end lost 21-20. They'll be looking to bounce back next week when they visit St Mary's Twos. Unfortunately, the Ones will have to wait until next week to play their first fixture, as Portsmouth Ones pulled out of their clash yesterday. Next week, they take on Imperial Ones at home.
On to the netball now, where our Threes stole the headlines with an incredible 52-9 win over Brunel's Twos. Jenna Joggia continued her fine start to the season as she was named Player of the Match for a second week in a row. The Ones beat Chichester 59-39 in the opening game of the day at Falmer, building on their victory from last week. Unfortunately, it wasn't a clean sweep of wins in the netball as the Twos narrowly missed out against Portsmouth. The final score there was 41-30. Freddie was at the Ones match and spoke to captain Ellie Bittner.
First game of the season today, obviously back on the purple courts, back on home turf at Brighton. It was great to have all the support. All the Twos came and watched, had loads of supporters, which really brought the morale up. Obviously, we won, which was incredible, and it felt really good to do that on home ground. Going into today's game, we knew it was going to be challenging. Chichester were in the league above us last year, were coming down, but I think we didn't let that get to us. We went out all guns blazing, and we really stuck to our game, gelled as a team, and we did well. They did put up a good fight against us, but we did just pull that lead away, so I think we did well to do that. Overall, I think win the league 100%. You've got to strive for that top thing, and obviously win varsity as well. But I think those are very much in our sight to do so.
The Panthers finally got their futsal season underway on Sunday after their opposition pulled out last week. However, they unfortunately lost to Brunel Twos as they suffered a 6-4 loss despite a hard-fought game. Player of the match Sam Garrett scored all 4 goals in an impressive attempt to lead his side to victory, but it was just not to be for our Panthers this time around. However, for his superb performance, he's earned the Panthers Player of the Week award.
In the women's football, our Ones didn't have a game this week, so the focus was all on our Twos. Last week they beat Sussex by the skin of their teeth, but this week it was a totally different story. They thrashed BUCS Ones 11-2 at Falmer.
The women's volleyball are yet to secure a win so far this season as they were beaten 3-0 by Portsmouth Ones. They'll be hoping to get off the mark next week as they play Reading Ones at home. I was at Falmer covering the game and spoke to Panthers manager Leo Song after the match.
Unlucky game for us early in the season. I was really happy with how the girls played and their effort and how they worked together. Yep, a couple of technical things we wanted to work on, serving, serve, receive, but it's early in the season. I'm optimistic about how we're going to do for the rest of the season. So we played Portsmouth today, a really well-rounded team, really aggressive, really physical. I thought they did a lot of really nice things and they fully deserved the win. I think we're going to work together to kind of get to that level and play competitive games. So the next time that we see them, we're going to bring it to them. I think everybody's got individual goals and team goals as well. We want to be competitive, we want to win, and then most importantly, we just want to enjoy volleyball. So I think, let's just keep playing and see what happens for the rest of the season.
I also spoke with players Vicky and Olivia.
I think we need to practice our serve receives, definitely. That was a weak area of our game. The first pass is so important to get a good, strong attack on. And I think general team camaraderie? Yeah. We need to work better, communicate, I think. We're looking to win. Rest of the season, nothing but W's. Play better as a team, not drop so many sets.
I agree. I think we can play so many great games and we can win all the games that are coming up. We're going to have strong work ethic, teamwork, everything, all down.
Everyone loves an underdog, that's what I'm saying.
The men's badminton continued their winning form, matching their score from last week with an emphatic 7-1 victory over Portsmouth Twos. This will give the Panthers a big confidence boost heading into the much anticipated matchup against local rival Sussex in 2 weeks' time. The women's fell short for the second week in a row, losing 5-3 again. This time it was against Royal Holloway Ones. The Panthers face Portsmouth Ones in a couple of weeks, where they'll be hoping to get off the mark.
Despite a perfect start for all three men's football teams last week, getting a result this Wednesday proved to be a much more difficult task. All three sides were away from home, with only the Threes securing a win. The Ones lost 6-3 to Surrey Ones, whilst the Twos fell short in a 2-0 defeat to Royal Holloway. The Threes, however, managed to come out on top against Surrey Threes, beating them 4-3. Elliot Eyre got a brace, and the other two goals came courtesy of Sam Naylor and Theo de Vries.
In the tennis, the men's and women's teams matched scores again, just as they did last week. Thankfully this week, they are both able to secure 6-0 victories, with the men beating Brunel Ones and the women beating Reading Twos.
Although the men's hockey got off to a great start last week, they narrowly missed out in this week's fixture, losing 3-2 to Reading Threes. However, they won't let this discourage them, and they will look to bounce back against City St George's Ones in a couple of weeks. As for the women's hockey, they suffered a heavy 11-1 defeat against Chichester Ones. However, they have a chance to redeem themselves next week when they visit Brunel Ones.
The table tennis team built on their dominant win last week with another against Brunel Twos. The final score was 15-2, with George Jarvis and Max Skelton leading the charge with 4 wins each.
The final fixture of Week 2 is the baseball, although it hasn't yet been played. This Saturday at 1 p.m, the Panthers take on Kent. The game is at home on the Falmer campus, so be sure to head on down there and support the team.
That's all for this week. Join us next time for more Panthers action as our badminton men's team face rival Sussex and the rugby union women start their campaign away at Essex.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.